Looks like we have a quorum. Should we go ahead and get started? Yes? Okay.
Nothing yet. Oh, I can see, I think I can do it. Unless you want to look at the minutes. I already read them.
I'm sorry? Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Welcome, everyone. We now have a quorum, and we will begin the meeting of the Oklahoma City Arts Commission for July 17th, 2023. Before the commission votes on each item, I will ask staff to provide details of each case. I will ask if the applicant has anything to add, and I will ask if any members of the public wish to speak. If you wish to address the Arts Commission, you will be recognized. Please go to the central podium, state your name and address for the record, and begin your comments. Please limit comments to no more than 3 minutes, and we're going to be watching that today. Our next line item is to receive the meeting minutes from June 12th special meeting.
Move approval. Oh, no, I'm sorry, you gotta do down here.
I hope everyone has read through the minutes, and if there are no corrections, I will entertain a motion in a second. Commissioners, remember, if you were not present for that meeting, please abstain from voting.
Hard to get this thing going fast enough.
Meg, were you able to vote?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I voted.
Okay, cool. Well, no, I think we're waiting on Meg.
Doesn't seem to be receiving it.
My yay is green.
Mine is too.
My abstain is blue.
It looks like everybody's had a chance.
Decided to do voice voting.
Should do. We've got it up on the board.
Yeah.
Are we good? Did we pass? Yes. Yay. Okay, we're moving on to item number 3, items of discussion and action. Item 3A is Untitled by Scott Henderson, Jacqueline Musgrove, Patrick Hanscom of Whiteboard Exhibits LLC, mural Almonte Library near the northeast corner of 59th and May, Ward 6, and Leandre will present.
Great. Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Leandre Lattimore. I'm the Public Art Project Manager. This first item that I will be presenting will actually be one of 2 projects separately that will be done at the Almonte Library. So for this specific project here, this one is, of course, as you listed, Untitled for the Almonte Library Murals Project. This RFQ we had was released on May 10th, 2023. And the deadline for that was May 24th, 2023. And this, like I said, is the first of 2 projects that we have at Almonte Library. To give a little bit of background of what's taking place here is that the Almonte Library in 2013 opened a facility here in a shopping center that's here at the corner of Southwest 59th and May Avenue that was actually intended to be a temporary location for the library. Due to a lot of traffic and a lot of engagement from the community in the nearby area, it was actually decided that they would open up a new facility. So they are currently under construction for a brand new 20,000 square foot facility that will include study rooms, a children's area, a computer lab, and is also expected to accommodate over 10 million item checkouts per year. So it's absolutely fantastic news to hear. And moving over to, so here's the mural here. It was selected by the Committee for Whiteboard Exhibits LLC, led by artist Scott Henderson. So this mural here is to honor the legacy of the library, of course, to bring forth the impact of what a library does for its community. So as you see here in the picture here above, that it has a lot of different books that are listed there. So some of these books will actually be literal reflections on the mural itself, and other ones are actually going to be discussed with the officials at Almaty Library to have specific items that will best reflect the community and the interests of those that attend the library. So Scott Henderson put a lot of effort into addressing a lot of different things. So there are some local authors that are also featured here on some of these books, and I think it's very fantastic work here as well. So this actually will be here on the west end of the library itself. So the entire mural will be a combination of two murals that will each be about 70 feet and 11 and a half feet in length and height. So moving forward, these are some of the other photos that they have here. So of course, it stretches a wide compass, I think, of range in terms of the audience that is going to address. A lot of these are children's books, and some are very popular books that are even read by adults. And as you can see, featured there is also Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. So that's an example of some of the local authors that we have that are from Oklahoma City that I think will bring a great nod to the heritage that we have here locally as well. So the entire art award for this project is set at $36,000, and it's expected to be completed over a span of about 6 weeks. So the artists will be completing this with a team as well. So whenever the library itself is complete, is my expectation when the artists themselves will go in and then complete the mural. So that actually, let's see here. So that actually concludes my report for this item here. Is my recommendation that the Arts Commission recommend this artist and project to the City Council for Public Art Commission agreement.
Hey, thank you, Leandre. We'll open it up for comments from commissioners. Commissioner Cooper?
Well, I love the graphics. I think they're just outstanding. But I do have a question to make sure that there isn't any type of copyright infringement that's been either checked for that or cleared, that there won't be any legal issues for the depictions of either some of the images or the, well, any of the images.
Yes, absolutely. That's a fantastic question. So the artist actually did research on that, and all of the images that you see here are made originally by the artist. So although they feature the titles, the books themselves do not make up, I think it's over 20 or 30% of the entire piece itself, so it should not be subject to any copyright infringement. And we have been notified by the artist that if we do, just so happen to run into a situation like that, that there would just be a redesign that would take place for the specific piece that may bring about that issue.
Well, I would certainly want that issue to be resolved before it goes up, because you don't want someone coming around and complaining about copyright infringement after it becomes public.
Absolutely. Yes. To that point, the research
I mean,
was-
either text or image, whether it is a patented image or any kind of trademark that has been registered belongs to somebody else, to make sure that there's no infringement.
So, Leandre, will the city then be doing their due diligence to make sure that there is no copyright infringement?
Yes, along with the artist.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any other comments or questions? Very cool. Okay. Comments from the public? Oh, I'm sorry. Meg? Okay. Comments from the public? Okay, we'll go into the asking for a motion in second. So been moved and? Cool. Okay, then we'll move to a vote in Prime Gov. Great, it passes. Now we'll move on to item 3B. Tree of Lanterns by Nicole Moine and Astrid Moine, interior mosaic installation at Monte Library near the northeast corner of Southwest 59th Street and South May Avenue, Ward 6. And again, Leandre will present the item.
Thank you. So this next item that I have is entitled Trio Lanterns by the artist team that includes Nicole and Astrid Moen. So this will also be located at the Almonte Library that I just previously mentioned. The only difference is that this one will actually be located inside, and this one will be a mosaic installation. So we released this RFQ to our artist pool on April 26th, and the deadline ended on May 17th. Upon that time, it was then selected by an artist committee that was made up of stakeholders as well as stakeholders from the library as well that did recommend these artists for this project. This is, of course, shows the location of the library as I mentioned. So this is the photo that was taken here at the site tour. So this is a little bit hard to grasp, but I do have a further rendering that I'll show later down the line. But this is more or less the location that the mosaic will be placed at. And this is the actual rendering of the mosaic. So this specific piece is supposed to, per the request of the stakeholders at the library, they wanted a piece that was to serve as a welcome for those who will be entering the library. So this is sort of what the goal is here behind this piece. As you can see, the big welcome sign, and also welcome in a lot of different languages as well. So there's a strong emphasis here on multiculturalism, as we were informed by the members of the library that they have a strong community presence of Vietnamese individuals as well as Hispanic, Spanish-speaking community members as well that also spend quite a bit of time here at this library. So this is to bring emphasis to multiculturalism and, of course, to serve as a welcoming for those who are into the library. So this will actually be located directly behind the welcome desk, and this is actually just a close-up shot of what those lanterns will look like, as you can see there. Then this image, sorry that it's a little bit pixelated, but as you can see there, the mosaic will go directly behind the welcome desk here that you see. So of course, this will be one of the first things that people will see as soon as they enter the library, which was of course the goal that we had behind choosing the location and the type of project that it was. So the overall art award for this project would be $14,150. And as I mentioned before, it will be completed by an artist team, and it'll consist of painting, where they will physically paint the background, and then it will be mosaic tiles that will make up the rest of the piece itself. So let's see here if I believe this is the last image. So that does conclude my report for this item. I recommend to the Arts Commission that you recommend the artists and staff to the City Council for a Public Art Commission agreement.
Okay. Oh. Now we're opening up from comments from commissioners. Commissioner Smalling?
So question, is it being applied directly to the wall itself, or is it going to be placed on a board that's going to be, is the painting going to be initially on a board that then will be placed onto the wall, or is it going to be the mosaic onto the actual drywall?
Oh, that's a great question. It will actually be placed onto a board. So let me go back here. You can actually see that, a piece of it below the mural itself there. So the mural itself, they're going to paint a board that's going to go behind it, and then this will go on top of it, if that answers your
So
question.
it will itself be extractable in the future?
Yes.
Okay, that's it.
Any other questions from commissioners? Okay. Well, we'll ask for a motion and a second at this point. Okay, we've moved and seconded, and we will vote in prime gov. Has everybody voted? Okay, so the vote passes. Next, we will be moving to item 3C, Pitts Park Recreation Center mural update from Chris Canale of the Oklahoma Mural Syndicate, 1920 Cade Avenue, Ward 7, and Randy will present.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thanks for being here today. I'm Randy Marks. arts liaison. I'm still getting used to saying that, but I did get it right the first time today. You may remember that in your meeting of April 17th, 2023, you reviewed the selection of Oklahoma Mural Syndicate to manage the design, painting, installation of a mural for Pitts Park and recommended that to City Council. Now, this was a little bit different situation because you were not approving an actual design and an artist team to create the mural itself, but you were selecting a management team to select the artist and create the work. And that was approved by City Council, and a Public Art Commission agreement was made with Oklahoma Mural Syndicate, which includes With Love. And the management team is composed of Chris Canale, Dylan Bradway, Jesse Warren, and Commissioner J.B. Williams. Chris is here today to give an update on that, and your motion at the end of this, this is a report, so you're not voting on anything in particular other than to receive the report today. So Chris, if you'll come on up.
Hello, Commissioners. Chris Canale, 523 Northwest 31st Street. And I have Krista Rice here on JB's behalf.
Yes. Just real quickly on his, as he had to deal with an emergency, I do want to read some words from him because With Love Project is his love letter to the East Side. And so his words matter because the work that we're trying to do matters. So
Ma'am, could you state your address, please, for the record?
yes,
Thank you.
2600 Watermark Boulevard, apartment 1006 in Oklahoma City.
Thank you.
Per JB, growing up, Pitts Park was known as Park for certain gang. It wasn't till he was an adult that he learned about Captain Pitts, and I think we have a chance to help tell the story of the park and Captain Pitts. And so just for the record, we understand that historically what Captain Pitts did in moving his troops forward in the Vietnam War, and also excelling at Douglas High School and Wichita State. And so bringing that mural to the East Side allows us to remember that we too can move forward as a community and as a society.
Thank you.
And Captain Pitt's story, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but he was the first Black Army soldier to receive the Medal of Honor. He did a historic feat one day during battle. He was the captain of his platoon, and a grenade was lobbed towards the enemy, hit a tree, and bounced back into their foxhole. And Captain Pitts jumped on that grenade. That grenade was a dud. It did not go off. And he was the first one to jump up, unfazed, grab his gun, and continue fighting, where everyone just sat there stunned. So for that feat, and among others, is why he received the Medal of Honor. So it's an Oklahoman that we should all be proud of. There should be statues of this man at the state capitol, but we're going to start with a mural at Pitts Park. Just to give you a little update, I know you're mostly familiar with our organization, the Oklahoma Mural Syndicate. We aim to advocate and create public art throughout the state. And we, in 2020, started up a sister project called With Love, which is now spun off to create its own 501c3 with the mission to increase public art and events on the East Side community. Yeah, we're all here to honor Captain Pitts, and a little brief mention about why we're a good team for that. And Krista and JB are community activists on the East Side, and that's why our team is all working together with them. This is our current team, which there are many other people on the team. This is just the 4 people that basically came to the forefront on it. The project requires the construction of a kind of a fake facade on the building, so that is going to require a licensed contractor. So we're teaming up with McAllister Construction at the current moment, and working with Randy on getting the sign permit and all of that done. Just a couple projects here that we've done with our team at Polk Elementary. the East Point mural that was created by Tony Thunder, the Skip Hill mural that was also at the first Juneteenth Festival, and the market at East Point with 6 murals there in October of 2020, which kind of kicked off the With Love project. The mural that we're going to paint is 29 feet tall, 20 feet tall by, I think that's 24 feet wide, I believe. We're only going to paint that center part there in between the gutters. The frame construction, we do have a loose plan for that, but we will be relying on the sign manufacturer or the construction team that we work with to kind of give the specifics on that. But we do have a basic plan with some quick bolts that will be bolted into the mortar. None of the brick will be damaged. And the ACM are light aluminum panels that are weatherproof and weather really well. We do have an artist selected. Jeremy Biggers out of Dallas, Texas is an amazing portrait artist, very well known in the mural community internationally. His work is celebrated all over the world. We're very fortunate to have him on board, especially with our small funds that we have allocated to the project. We're really thrilled. He's worked with major corporations all over the world, and he's very excited about the project. This is a couple examples of his work. He goes by Stem and Thorn. That is his main company's, his main mural identity. As you can see, he has well experience and talent for painting portraits. We want this to kind of be a classic portrait honor or piece of work for Captain Pitts, since it is kind of honoring someone kind of, you know, from the olden days. We kind of want it to be a classic approach. This is some of his more modern work that he is well known for. Our production schedule right now, we're here July 17th at the Arts Commission update. August, we will be obtaining our permit. September, we will be constructing the panels to be painted on. October is when we can get the mural going. And hopefully, if everything plans out right, we will be able to celebrate with an opening ceremony on Veterans Day, which is November 11th. We're currently trying to work with, trying to find someone at the Oklahoma VA to maybe collaborate with and maybe have a couple veterans out there for that opening ceremony as well. That's essentially it for the update, and happy to hear any questions if you have them.
Thank you for that
Thank you.
presentation.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions or comments from commissioners?
On the day that the painting, or the days that the painting is going to be taking place, are you planning to have any kind of viewing to let people watch the production of this, what sounds to be a fabulous
Yeah.
mural?
Yeah, in fact, the Boys and Girls Club does have a club there, and we're going to probably be working with them to have the kids come out and watch and maybe have a little tutorial, maybe even have a little section there that they can help out with or something like that.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments from commissioners? Great, well, we'll move to a vote to receive the report.
Mine didn't come up again. There we go. It's because I said we were doing great. All of a sudden, it started falling apart again.
Hey, it's passed. Thank you. Both
Thank
of
you.
Thank you so much.
And now we'll move on to item 3D trajectory, and Randy will make that presentation.
So you see that this is titled Trajectory Re-Envision. So a little history. I won't go through every bit of it, but the original design for Trajectory was reviewed and recommended by the Arts Commission May 18th, 2020. Now think of what was happening in early 2020. This was the first project that we had the final selection in Zoom, and then that has become our standard since then, but this is the one that we practiced on. And it was exhilarating and fun in some ways, but it was a challenge. I do remember all of that. Because of its timing, the project met multiple delays caused by the pandemic and resultant supply chain issues. I don't think that we have had a single project that has been affected by the COVID and its outflow any more than this particular project was. So it was a relief when it was installed in February of 2020, just a few months ago. However, after installation, it became evident to the staff at USA Softball that there were some difficulties with it, particularly with the way that the public interacted with the pieces. And let me give you some pictures here to look at. So this is immediately after the installation, and you can see the stainless steel trajectories coming down. If you drive down 50th Street and looked over at Softball, you can see those out there. They're really quite dramatic, really dramatic element that catches a lot of attention. The balls, which are cast out of Czech glass, imported from Czechoslovakia, beautiful. They shine brilliantly. It's beautiful work. However, people jump up on these quite easily, and I say these because there's two separate softballs you can see in the image on the right. There's the one that is at the end of the trajectory, and then another one that just has a partial trajectory. The idea was it came out earlier and landed down there, and now this one has just bounced out. It is particularly the second one that causes the most concern because people get up on it, yank on those, and although it's extremely sturdily constructed and the glass is very thick, all of that, there's potential for damage to the piece as well as the main concern, which is damage to human beings who are trying to interact with the piece. Some things you don't, maybe you should know about them ahead of time, but you don't know until they're actually there how people are exactly going to behave. So we'll go back for just a minute. We don't take lightly the idea of going to an artist and asking if they will consider a redesign. That's a very serious issue, and it's got to be done with respect, and also the artist's decision is paramount here. In the case of Pete Beeman, I called, after a lot of discussion, I called Pete and talked to him about what was going on, gave him time to think about it, and he agreed to reconsider it. This was not a demand. It wasn't anything like that. It was an ask if he would do that. And he took time to think through it, went through various emotional stages while he was doing that, but came to the conclusion that this is a piece of public art and different rules apply to some extent, and it's in the best interest of everybody, he said, that we do reconsider this. And so he has made a proposal to us, and this is an illustration. This isn't exactly accurate, though. So we asked him to consider both a 5-foot softball and a 6-foot softball. This was an illustration of the 5-foot, but I actually measured, and if that is a 5-foot, then the person over there is over 6.5 feet. So it's a little bit out of scale. So I have this other illustration. This is more to scale. Now, can somebody crawl up on top of a 6-foot resin softball? Yes, they can, but it's going to be more difficult. Can somebody put a child up there? Well, somebody's going to try that sometime, but this is not going to be the type of situation where somebody can just casually walk up to it and start yanking on something. It'll be a slick surface that will be hard to get any kind of purchase on to actually get up there. So this is the piece, this is the work that would be at the end of the trajectory. So instead of the 3-foot glass ball would be a 6-foot resin ball. We asked specifically about the longevity of the piece. He said there is a piece on top of MoMA in New York that is about 15 years old, made out of the same type of material, exposed to the weather all the time, absolutely no concerns. So it is made to be outside and to have a long life and to be extremely resilient. He knows about our hailstorms, and he says that this will stand up to the hailstorms. So that is the overall situation. The other ball, that is the standalone with the partial trajectory, will be removed entirely and will not be replaced. This is the only replacement. The city will own the two small glass spheres that can be repurposed and used at another location. And I know that some people in parks are already, the wheels are spinning about where that may be able to be used. Any art project that those would be used for would, of course, come back to you in the normal course of events, just like we always would. But those, we retain all of those elements. They will be in storage until we find the proper use for them. So this is the general program. I'm willing to answer any questions that I can possibly answer.
One real, just start out, was the Softball Museum involved in the selection of this project?
I'm sorry, would you?
Was there a representative from the Softball Hall of Fame on the selection committee?
Yes. So there was a representative from softball, and then also others that had an interest in particular interest in the Softball Hall of Fame Stadium. This is something that we run into from time to time. We have people on the committee for their particular expertise that they bring to it. But again, you know, they'll speak their mind, but sometimes they don't realize in the course of events, you know, exactly where things are going. You know, we do our best to explain. We have the illustrations and all of that. But sometimes you just don't know until you're actually experiencing the finished work, until you know exactly how it's going to behave and how the public is going to interact with it. So yes, we followed standard protocol, public art consultant, arts commissioner, stakeholders, and then somebody from USA Softball.
And other commissioners, please.
Just one question. So it was glass going to resin as far as the outer surface, but will it still have the illumination?
Yes, it will be. So I don't know the actual thickness of this, but it will be a hollow sphere. It'll be cast and put together in sections. There will be lighting that will illuminate just as the glass ball was illuminated.
Randy, I just want to say how wonderful it is. It's such a great project. I love driving by on 50th and seeing it in place. It took a long time to get there, and I'm surprised that people are climbing on it, but I guess that's to be somewhat expected.
Yeah, we're not quite done with it yet. It's been a long haul, a lot of changes along the way, just, you know, trying to get this project completed. Real major spikes in the cost of materials, all that kind of stuff that Pete had to deal with. You know, it would have been wonderful had it been absolutely perfect, but this is where we find ourselves right now.
And it makes me curious just thinking about how people react with things. Have we had any trouble with the beautiful feather at the end of Scissortail?
Well, somebody reported to me that they actually saw a parent putting a child up on it, which I'm not the least bit surprised, and other commissioners and others have reported that people are trying to climb on it. So it happens. It is a pretty resilient coating on it, so it's going to need maintenance, you know, just like everything needs maintenance. It seems to be standing up well to what's going on out there right now. But and of course, you know, been problems with Skydance Bridge in some way, with people wanting to climb out over the edge of it. There's problems with the Land Run Monument. Now, a lot of those have been mitigated by signs that were put up and by other barriers. We know that USA Softball does want to put up significant warning that will not, you know, obscure the art, but warning that do not climb on this, and other words to that effect.
Commissioners? Okay.
I guess we shouldn't have to expect to put signage saying this is a piece of art, not a jungle gym, but apparently we have to.
Humans will tend to do what humans can do.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Well, that's always one of my questions. Every time when we have a piece of art that looks like it's capable of have a human interaction to it, because people just do it. But it's even though I know that that is always a possibility, it's always disappointing to find out that not only do they do it, but they do it in a way that is designed almost to be destructive. And that's very disappointing.
Randy, are you asking us to approve the changes then?
So staff request is that you approve us to continue developing and then go to City Council with a Public Art Commission agreement or a change. We don't know exactly what the change will need to be. Probably an agreement, a brand-new agreement, I believe is what Rita and I had discussed would be necessary here. So again, we're asking to go ahead, get a recommendation to take this to City Council after we have done all of our due diligence. And then the agreement goes through all of the vetting processes before it ever goes to City Council.
So that's our motion.
Yes, a motion, in short, to recommend a Public Art Commission agreement to City Council.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded, and we'll go to a vote. Awesome. It passed. Okay, now we're on the consent docket portion of the agenda, and I need to ask if any commissioner wants to hear the report. Okay, I'll take that as a group no. So I'll ask for comments from the public. No, I'll ask Randy to report first.
Well, I won't give a report. Since it's on consent docket, there's no report, you can go immediately to the
I'll ask myself to
vote.
wake up first. Okay, comments from the public, and then any comments from the public? Motion and second.
Yes, the motion would be to approve.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. We'll go to a vote. It's passed. Now, do we need to retain a quorum for the rest of the meeting?
I was going to say, if I can leave now, that would be great.
Rita, do we need a quorum for the rest of the meeting?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
So do we have,
I'm not sure about what I just heard as an answer.
So Liz had indicated she may need to leave, so
Right, that's what I'm wondering.
Liz, if you need to leave, then the meeting will end. So
if there's
that's-
someone here to report, oops, yeah. Yeah, if there's someone here to report, I will hang on for that.
So our next, I don't actually have an agenda in front of me. I think our next,
We've got,
it's staff report is the next item. Thanks.
okay.
So I can do that if you, or actually, reports from committees are the next item on the
Yes,
agenda.
Arts and Cultural Affairs.
I'm going to expedite, let's just pass on it because we know about the Rodin, and then you have the one thing coming over at the Oklahoma Contemporary for their,
The Rodin where?
at the Art Museum.
Oklahoma City Museum of
Yeah,
Art?
yeah, but we
Okay.
discussed that thoroughly last time, so I think we can
Right.
pass on that, and then we're aware of what's going to happen over at we discussed that last time too, so for her sake time, let's just move on, okay?
Okay. Well, we received that report. Commission members, any individual comments or?
We skipped over, would you like to see a really quick report from staff?
More than anything.
These are items that have all been completed in just the last few weeks. So this is the Chandeliers in Civic Center Music Hall by Rick and Tracy Bewley. This is at the Douglas Dugouts, murals by Tony Thunder. This is the baobab tree that was installed at the zoo in the Africa exhibit The Africa exhibit will open up a little bit later in the summer. This was right after installation. You can see that they hadn't even put in the landscaping yet. So it's totally finished out around there, and the grand opening will be a little bit later this summer. But already there was an event out there, and people were just flocking to this, wanting to get inside and look out. It invites a whole lot of public interaction. And then just around the corner from Tony's work at the Douglas Dugouts, this is at the new Willie D. Johnson Rec Center, which was just, the ribbon cutting was on Friday, and really wonderful words said all around about the work that Ebony, Quiquia, and Jerica did, along with the students from Douglas High School. So this is close-up showing Willa along with kids. This is entitled Freedom to Dream. And then there's one of the children that took flight. So this is, we've been waiting a long time on all of these, so it's nice to have these completed and have turned out so beautifully. So thank you for that.
Okay, so that's concluded. Comments from the commission members?
I really would just like to offer my most sincere thanks to the Buleys and then the whole team at the Civic Center. The renovation and the addition of the exterior entry to the little theater is stunning. The interior work is great. They're just, it's a project that I think we all should be really proud of. And I know that it took more than an extra effort on the part of the Buleys to complete the project that they presented to us, and they could have stopped lots of different times, I think, and they just plowed through and made it happen, and it's extraordinarily beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I agree with Meg's comments about that. The light fixtures that the Buleys designed are magnificent, and they look so great in that space, as if the space and those light fixtures were all designed at the same time. They did a fabulous job.
Great. And with nothing else to report from the commission members,
I have one more thing.
please go.
Right now, Lyric Theater is in the middle of their summer season. They've presented The Sound of Music, they presented The Prom this last week, and they have next week coming up, Ain't Misbehavin'.
Anyone else? Okay, I've made it through almost 2/3 of this without completely messing it up. Public comments. Great. Let's see. We're adjourned. That was not easy. Good job.